There's something very unique about the lighting of the Chanukah menorah as done on the holiday of Hanukkah in regards to some details of the actual obligations of the candles. See, there are many obligations for lit candles in Judaism for somebody who passed away or in a synagogue, which are intended for honor those who passed or for the holiness of the building. On the other hand, there are different types of candle-related obligations in Judaism. Shabbos candles, for instance, which the purpose of the candle isn't the honor that is provided through its lighting, it's the light of the flame itself that is its purpose. The lights of the Chanukah menorah is one of these. Its purpose is in the light itself. However, Hanukkah lights are actually totally unique from the others in its category. See, Shabbos candles, for instance, are lit for peace in the home. So the purpose of the candle is the flame, but it is also to provide something, meaning peace in this case. The Hanukkah candle, on the other hand, is literally only for the candle, not what it provides. It does represent the miracle of the holiday of Hanukkah, obviously, but still, the candle doesn't do anything besides for exist on its own. And yes, as said, it is to commemorate the miracle, but that's not the fundamental purpose, as we still light the candles and say a blessing on them even in a situation where you're not commemorating the miracle, unlike Shabbos candles, which, as mentioned, are lit for peace in the home. So, if there's a situation where that reason won't be facilitated, for instance, you're lighting multiple candles and for its purpose you only really need one, so you'd say one blessing on the first one and not on the rest. This is unlike the Hanukkah menorah, where if multiple menorahs are lit, you say one for each family member, say each individual time you say the blessing, despite its seeming redundancy, based on the simple explanation of it being due to publicizing miracle. Not only that, but it's expressly stated to still light the menorah even in a time of danger when you can't do it publicly, so clearly the reason must be a bit more than that. So, the reason why is as follows. By the Greeks, the whole thing, on top of being, an actual war, was also a battle of rationale. Historically, the Greeks were actually pretty okay with the Jews practicing their traditions and ideas. It was just that they disagreed with the religious aspect, so they would have preferred a totally secularized version of Judaism with all of its practices, but none of the religion. This can be very well seen in the particular commandments that they tried to ban. Things that don't have an explanation according to logic and are only done due to the religious aspects of Judaism. Things like circumcision and similar, which are done because it's a biblical commandment from God. So things like that they wanted to ban, as it was a part of the religious angle of Judaism as opposed to the secularized aspects. This can also be further seen by the way that they violated the temple. They didn't destroy each jug of oil, they broke the seals, which in theory would still be perfectly as validly lit. The only reason why they wouldn't be able to be lit would be because of the violations of the laws of purity from the times of the temple, which are something that only really apply at the religious angle. Hence, the lighting of the temple menorah in such a case with impure oil would quite literally be a fully secularized process, being entirely identical in practice. You're still getting up there with a candle and lighting a menorah, but it would be an entirely irreligious process with any of the religious aspects sucked out of it. Similarly, this also applies in the way that the Maccabees fought against the Greeks. According to all laws of logic and military tactics, they should have been absolutely wiped. They were a tiny fraction of ill-supplied rebels fighting against basically a world superpower with anything and everything at their disposal. It made no sense, yet they were willing to give up their lives as they fully and totally trusted in God, making this war something that was not logical, but essentially strictly religious, and the miracle of their victory was strictly religious, as it was obviously due to a miracle, something which inherently transcends the laws of logic and nature. Therefore, they lit the menorah, which was once again yet another miracle, as it burned for 8 days, which was representative of the connection between the Jewish people and God. This is why we light the menorah to this day, representing this connection, and why we light the candles as they are, simply and without any other reason. Furthermore, the candles are still lit in public, which makes them matter even if they weren't seen, which is something we can take to ourselves. If we do something good and important, even if nobody sees, or even if there's no lasting impact, it was entirely worth it to have done that good thing in that moment. The good thing done was worth it just for its brief moment of existence, as something good is, inherently good, and therefore worth it just for it in its brief instance. Furthermore, even in less good times, like years before, or in some cases for some, unfortunately even now, this is something that can never be taken away. As mentioned, we light our menorah even during a time of danger indoors where nobody but ourselves can see. And as the lighting of the menorah represents our connection with God, even now, before the coming of Mashiach, that's not something that could ever be taken away. And with that, that's the end of the video. This is a bit of a summary of a teaching from the Lubavitcher Rebbe on Shabbos Parshas Miketz of the Hebrew year 5720, and it has particular relevance to this day. So, if you found it interesting, definitely check out similar. Anyways, with that said, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and /or subscribe. It really helps out my channel and promote these videos towards more people. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a very happy Chanukah.